Hey guys, so with the 2020 presidential election just 10 days away, today I want to talk about why I really don't see a comeback possible for President Trump. I mean, numbers at this point in time, really, they're just not on his side. I mean, he is doing so much worse in so many key states at this moment in time that I really don't see that a comeback is possible for him. I mean, in 2016, at this point in time, he was seeing huge surges all across the nation compared to Hillary Clinton. And this time around, he really just isn't seeing those types of increases in support. And even if he did, Joe Biden is doing much, much better than Hillary Clinton did in 2016. Hillary Clinton was never at 50% in any state that was competitive, but Joe Biden, he is in 50% in every single state that he needs to win this election. So Joe Biden, basically with all of his safe states filled in, he has around 232 electoral votes. I think he's definitely going to win. Joe Biden 125 electoral votes, or Donald Trump 125 electoral votes. Now, before we get into that, make sure you join my Discord server if you don't want to miss out on the events, giveaways, and contests that we're doing there right now. We also have a pretty cool mock government on there, so make sure you join. The link is at the very top of the description below. And in addition to that, I've also launched channel memberships on this channel. They're just 99 cents per month. Just click on that blue join button next to the subscribe button to learn how you can get access to some pretty sweet perks down below. So taking a look at the national polling numbers right now, Joe Biden is up a margin of 9.2% over Donald Trump. Now, national polls may not matter, but if Joe Biden wins the national average by 9.2%, if he wins the popular vote by 9.2%, there's no way that President Trump can still win this election. There's no way Trump can lose the popular vote by 9% and still win in the Electoral College. That just is not going to happen. Now, numbers might not be as high for Joe Biden as they were just a week ago, but that was when he was peaking. I mean, he was at 52%, now he's down at 51.9%, but Joe Biden was just doing very, very well a week ago. Now he's still doing pretty well. I don't see, taking a look at these numbers here, Donald Trump has never really surged in this entire election cycle. I mean, in 2016, there were many ups and downs for both Clinton and Trump, but this time around, it's basically just Biden going, having a, huge lead to having an even larger lead, and then it goes down to still a huge lead for Joe Biden. The smallest lead he's seen in months is literally 6%, almost 7%. That was his lowest lead in September, and August was also pretty close. Hillary Clinton never saw those kinds of numbers in 2016, even at her best points. So Joe Biden is just a much better candidate. I'm taking a look at their favorability right now. Joe Biden is so much more favorably viewed than Hillary Clinton was, and so much more favorable than Donald Trump. His favorability right now is 6.2% in the positives. That is better than Barack Obama's favorability when he came into the 2012 election. His favorability right now for Joe Biden is 17.7 points better than President Trump's. Trump is down at negative 11.5, which is actually an okay favorability rating for the current president. He has never been popular. He was only approved of for basically a week. That is something we have never seen in American history. I mean, the president just so consistently unpopular, never being able to reach that 50% mark in terms of approval. I mean, I think he reached it once at the beginning of his presidency, and then there were some polls that, showed him at 50% exactly. I mean, he celebrated when he was at 50% approval. That is just something we have not seen in history. There's always ups and downs for presidents, but for Donald Trump, it just seems as if it's just always hovering at that 39 to 44% mark for Donald Trump. So Joe Biden, a much, much more popular candidate, and I think that alone will win Joe Biden the election, because taking a look at this electoral map, Joe Biden only needs 3 states. These are the states of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. There's not a single other state that Joe Biden needs. And just keep in mind that every single gray state or area on this electoral map, Trump won in 2016. That is how he won, of course, 306 electoral votes. This was the 2016 map right here, 306 for Trump, 232 for Clinton. But this time around, so many of these states are so competitive. I mean, these states are literally competitive states. They're not states that Trump isn't doing as well in. These are competitive states that Biden has a great chance of winning. Personally, Biden is, I think that Biden has a better chance of winning most of these states than President Trump. The only states that I think that Donald Trump has a higher chance of winning are Iowa, Ohio, and Texas. These other states, I think Joe Biden has a much greater chance of being able to carry and flip in this election. So, taking a look at some of the 2016 numbers, as you can see, these are the 2016 results among different key demographics. I mean, taking a look at women, Joe Biden is doing much better than Clinton in terms of woman support. I mean, Hillary Clinton, she was the first ever major party female nominee for president, and she only won 54% of women. Now, that is not good. I mean, she might have done better. She might have done all right, but she did worse than Barack Obama in 2012. But these numbers were just not good for Hillary Clinton. I mean, among black voters, just 88%. That was not a good showing for Hillary Clinton. And taking a look at the numbers now between Biden and Trump, as you can see here, Biden's edge among women, among women who are likely to vote right now, is 59 to 36%. And keep in mind, Joe Biden is a man, not a woman. So, Hillary Clinton, the first ever female candidate, only won 54%. Joe Biden right now, a much more popular candidate, wins 59%. I think that in itself is enough for Joe Biden to carry himself over the top in the states of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, because women make up most of the American population. So these three states, I think, will be won by Joe Biden as long as he increases his support among women, and that's literally it, because Hillary Clinton barely lost these states. I mean, she might have lost the election. It might have been very disappointing for her. Most people might have expected her to win, and she might have done much worse than expected. But still, she did very, very well for a second place candidate. I mean, she had the largest electoral vote or popular vote margin over her opponent when she lost an election. So she won the popular vote, lost the electoral college. She had the largest popular vote margin over any candidate in these types of scenarios. So really, did she do that bad? Not really. She did not do that much worse than Trump. She just lost by very, very narrow margins in many key states, especially Wisconsin, Michigan, as well as Pennsylvania. So taking a look at the numbers right now in Michigan, Biden plus 7.4. Pennsylvania, Biden plus 5.8, Wisconsin, Biden plus 6.4. And in every single one of these three states that I just mentioned, Biden is at 50%, which means that President Trump can win every single undecided voter. If President Trump goes out and campaigns in these three states extensively and wins every single undecided voter in all three of these states, he still cannot win these states because Joe Biden is at 50%. I'm comparing this to 2016. Michigan in 2016 was 47.3 for Trump, 47 for Clinton. So none of them even reached 50%. Right now in the state of Michigan, Trump is polling at 42.9%, Biden at 53%. Of course, those undecideds are going to either vote for Biden and Trump. Most of them, really not too many are going to vote for actual third parties, but that is not good for Trump right now. I mean, Clinton did pretty underwhelmingly in the counties like Flint and Detroit. These counties here, really, they did not perform as well for Clinton as she expected. That's why she lost the state. She nearly lost the state. She only lost it by 0.3%. So Joe Biden realistically only has to do 0.3% better than Clinton did in 2016, and he will win this state. I mean, it's just not good for Trump because in 2016, he won by very narrow margins. Now he's not as popular. Biden is much more popular than Clinton. So really, Trump has a lot to defend. I mean, taking a look at the state of Pennsylvania on this electoral map, Trump won this state by a margin of 0.7%. He won 48.2% of the vote. Now he's at 44.6%. Biden again at 50%. And Hillary Clinton really did not do too well in the Philadelphia area. She was expected to do a little bit better here, as well as many of these rural counties, especially Erie. She definitely underperformed in some of these more rural counties as well. So the numbers, they just weren't good for Clinton, but Joe Biden is doing much better statewide, and I think that at this point in time, she is going to win Pennsylvania. And you might, a lot of people saying how Pennsylvania is the state that Biden needs to, focus the most on winning, and then Florida is the state that Trump needs to focus on the most for winning. But that is not exactly true. I mean, Pennsylvania definitely is a state that Biden needs to focus on to win, but Florida is not. And for Donald Trump, Florida is a state that he definitely needs to focus on winning, as well as Pennsylvania. Joe Biden only needs Pennsylvania. Trump needs both of these states, and he still might not even win the election. I mean, Trump can win all of the other toss-up states, except for the Rust Belt states, because those are the closest, those are the states that are polling the best for Joe Biden. And then he could win Florida. He still would not be at 270 electoral votes. He needs to win Pennsylvania, and that is a state that he definitely needs, and a state that I just don't see him winning right now. I don't even see him winning Arizona, nor do I see him winning North Carolina. Georgia, maybe. Texas, I think he will win. Iowa, Ohio, I'm on the edge about right now. But Florida, I don't see Trump winning Florida at this moment in time. I think it will be very close. I think he definitely can win, but I would rather bet my money on Joe Biden right now in Florida. So these three Rust Belt states, they are polling so well right now for Joe Biden. I mean, the final state, Wisconsin, Biden at 6.4% over Trump at 50.4%. In 2016, this was, I believe, the safest out of the three states for Trump. In 2016, Trump won this state by a margin of 0.7%, a little bit more than the 0.7% that he won in Pennsylvania. But this was 10 electoral votes for Donald Trump. And I see that Clinton was expected to win by over 6%, but she definitely underperformed in this state. And this was really the only state in which she really did underperform it, in a state that was really expected to go to Hillary Clinton, but she lost outside of the margin of error of the polls. This was the only state that was actually wrong according to the pollsters. But I mean, the voters here just did not come out for, Green Bay did not do well for Clinton, nor did the Milwaukee area either. So Clinton, I think, definitely needed to campaign more here. But Joe Biden, unlike Clinton neglected the Rust Belt. These three states had not gone to a Republican in 24 years in Pennsylvania and Michigan, and 28 years in Wisconsin, and Minnesota had not gone to a Republican in over 4 decades, I believe. So these three states, and including Minnesota, these were some pretty solid states for the Democratic Party in the past. Obama did very well in these 4 states in 2008 and 2012, a little bit worse, but still they were pretty solid margins for Obama. Hillary Clinton, of course, is not Barack Obama, and she was a much more flawed candidate. She just had too many scandals, and she neglected these states. She did not visit them, at all, really, Wisconsin. Donald Trump visited these states much, much more, and Clinton really did not spend too much time in these states. She definitely should have spent a lot more time, because this was the area that she needed to win. She tried to rack up too many electoral votes because she was so confident in that she would win. But Joe Biden right now, he is spending a lot of time in these 3 states. He just had his train tour in Pennsylvania and Ohio, which I think definitely would help him in these 2 states. And that whole fracking issue, I really don't think is going to affect Joe Biden too much in these states as well, as much as people are saying. But in these 3 states, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, the only 3 states that Biden needs. And good thing for him, Clinton barely lost these states. I just don't see how, if Joe Biden is doing so much better than Clinton, how he's going to lose these 3 states that Trump barely won in 2016. And, it's just, I think that Joe Biden's going to win this election at this point in time. The margins, I think, can definitely be debated. I definitely can see Joe Biden winning, just 300 electoral votes, maybe even 278, or up to 330 or even 360 electoral votes. Because on this electoral map right now, there are just so many close states. North Carolina, Florida, Arizona, Georgia, Ohio, Iowa, Texas. These states are all so close. Without North Carolina and Florida, the rest of these states are within 3% for either Biden or Trump, and most of them are within 3% in favor of Joe Biden. So right now, they're just not looking too good for Donald Trump. Florida, Biden plus 3.1, Arizona, Biden plus 3%, North Carolina, Biden plus 2.8%, Georgia, Biden plus 0.8%. And these states that I just mentioned, they were all Trump states in 2016. Joe Biden leads in all of them, so let's fill all of these states in right now. I'm just going to give them a lean margin. So in all of these states, they were all so solid for Trump. Iowa was almost 10% in favor of the president, and now is polling for Joe Biden. How can a state that voted for Trump by 10% and now be voting in favor of Joe Biden or polling in favor of Joe Biden by 1%? How could that occur and Joe Biden still not win these 3 Rust Belt states that Trump won by less than 1%? I just don't see how that is reasonable right now, and Donald Trump really needs to step up his game in many of these states. Florida, this is a state that he definitely needs. This is a must-win for President Trump, and if he does not win this state, he will not win the election. I can guarantee you that. North Carolina, also another state that Trump has to win. There are alternatives if he doesn't win North Carolina, but in terms of the margins that we expect, there's no way that Trump cannot win North Carolina and carry other states that will get him over 270 electoral votes. And then taking a look at some of the closer states in 2016, New Hampshire, taking a look at the state of New Hampshire, this state voted for Clinton by literally 3,000 votes, less than 3,000 votes. Right now, Biden plus 11.2%, and a state that Hillary Clinton carried by 0.3%. And also another close state, we have the state of Virginia. This was the home state of Tim Kaine. He was a former governor and senator from the state of Virginia, and he was Hillary Clinton's running mate. But really, it didn't help her at the end. They expect much better numbers in Virginia. Really, the counties up here in Northern Virginia, near the D.C. area, they just did not come out for Hillary Clinton. And it was just pretty disappointing for her. Honestly, these counties surrounding Richmond just did not, perform well for Clinton at all, especially Chesterfield County there. But Hillary Clinton 49.8 to 44.4. It was still a 5.4% victory, but right now Biden plus 11.8%, and neither Biden or Harris really have any connections to the state of Virginia. I mean, Colorado, Biden plus 12.8%. New Mexico, Biden plus 12.2%. These two states I like to talk about together. I think they're just very similar states. Used to be Republican states, are now Democratic states, and are pretty solid, likely states for Joe Biden. I'm taking a look at the numbers here for Joe Biden and Donald Trump. In Colorado, this was pretty close in 2016. Clinton won by around 5%. Colorado, very similar margin, around 8.3%. New Mexico, 8.3%. So Clinton just did not have the numbers that people expected her to see. People did expect her to win, and personally, I expected her to win as well. But, there were just some pretty shocking defeats for her in the Rust Belt. But right now, Biden is making up for all of those votes that she lost, and I think that he will definitely do very, very well in the Rust Belt area. I mean, Missouri, this was a Save Trump state in 2016, just plus 6.5%. And right now plus 6.5, but in 2016, Trump won this state by almost 20%. So you can't tell me that Donald Trump, a state that he won by 20% in 2016, is now just pulling ahead by 6% and he's doing well. Donald Trump is in no means doing well. He is not going to do better than 2016, even if he wins this thing, and he's probably not going to win this thing. I mean, the state of Alaska, Trump plus 5.8%. In 2016, he won this state by huge margin here. I mean, this was, I believe, just a little bit under 50 or 15% for Donald Trump, making it a solid state. So I really am not precinct information here on this map, but still, this was a solid state for President Trump 4 years ago, and right now, it's this state is literally closer right now than the states of Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, which is just absolutely shocking to see that Donald Trump is doing worse in Alaska than he is in, states like Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan, states that he won in 2016. So not worse, but Joe Biden is doing better in these states than Trump is doing in the state of Alaska. So numbers right now just are not on Trump's side. I don't see a comeback mounting for him. 10 days until the election, I think that Trump has definitely lost this thing at this point in time. Definitely do not be complacent. Make sure you vote. I might have been said that Joe Biden is doing so well right now, but that's only if everybody votes. The numbers are only a reflective of how people are expected to vote if they vote. So make sure you do go out and vote. Make sure you not be complacent like many people were in 2016. Many people did not vote for Hillary or just did not vote for at all because they really didn't like her, but they would have preferred her to be president, but they didn't want to vote because they thought that she would win anyways. Do not do that. Make sure you go out and vote for your candidate. It doesn't matter if it's Joe Biden or Donald Trump. Just vote for whoever you believe you want to lead our country for the next 4 years, in this very important time that we're going through right now. So that will be it for this video. Make sure you join my Discord server if you have not. The link, again, is at the very top of the description below. In addition to that, I will also launch channel memberships, so make sure you consider those if you would like them. Just click on that blue join button, 99 cents per month. Gain access to some pretty sweet perks. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video. Leave a like down below, subscribe, and comment as well. And I will see all of you guys in the next video.